Okay, this is for the month of June for Cancer, and it's just a general read. So if it speaks to you and it resonates, great. If it does not, try back. Certainly may not be your story, but for those that this does have a connection to, I will just go ahead and give you an idea of what insights are coming in. So I don't see any major arcana out here. But I will say that for the most part, the cards that are coming out do speak to a lot of balance or trying to rebalance yourself. And certainly there's some strategies coming in here as well. These are the clarifiers below. Sorry, guys. Also, there is some indication that there is transformation of some sort at hand, and definitely releasing a lot of emotional pain. There is an entryway into either, oh, I don't want to say new relationship because that's not what I'm seeing, but I do see in terms of your relationships or those that are significant relationships, it seems like there is some, you're trying to create some future balance or further balance into that in the month of June. So we'll just maybe start out with that. Again, a lot of cards here speaking to trying to find my balance. Two of Cups, again, it's an emotional sort of start here. I would say that you are in the place of trying to be a little bit more connected to your relationships. I do feel like even with a potential lover or friend or stranger or just people in general or family, that kind of thing, I feel like there is more of a unification, more of a sense of unity, more of a sense of, wanting to wanting to go forward with something in a positive way and work on it with the Eight of Coins. So again, it can be soulful connections, people that are in your life that have some kind of motivation to assist you in leveling yourself up in some way, or it could be an actual soulful relationship, but there is some sense of healing of those relationships regardless. So I do feel like you're really engaged in participating in those, in that way. So where there may have been a loss of balance, I feel like the reason why there's balance coming in here so strongly, and where there was some disappointment, I feel it's because you've worked on yourself, and there's certainly some indicator of trying to understand the other side of things or the other person's point of view, that kind of thing. And there's a healing of the relationships or those connections that you had that were significant to you. I also feel the Eight of Cups for sure does indicate that there was some level of needing to separate yourself from the parts of the connection that you weren't able to understand, and anything that was your current reality or impacted the dream in some way and that didn't match up with your dream. You have, this is kind of the old way of life here. And you're walking into a new way of seeing things. And of course, the path of, releasing with the Four of Cups is always a little bit more limiting and unsettling and upsetting. So this is where you're actually clearing the path of that. You're finding deeper satisfaction, and you're looking for deeper satisfaction in your connections and with those around you. And it certainly does speak to acquiring new connections and all of that. And it could certainly be that it's a reminder as well that the important things aren't lost. Those that have a deeper connection to you, you can still draw satisfaction from those relationships, and just understand that they are there for you, and that there is, the old way of life has changed in some way here with the Four. So you are changed, and that's why this is changing. So this is where you were in a place of, I need life to be this way. It didn't turn out that way. I'm dissatisfied. I'm bored. Things didn't work out. I'm discontented. There's a lot of deeper processing and, going through some of the things that disillusioned you, and trying to find, some kind of range of emotion that's more balanced instead of stewing in this position of self-pity. So you've come out of this, and now you're focused on more of a release, and trying to find balance seems to be the main energy out here for you. So there's not going to be the stagnation that you were feeling in the month of June. I feel like you won't feel emotionally cut off or stranded. You're sort of reconnecting to people again. The Two of Pentacles is finding more balance in because you're being flexible, because you're finding some sense of understanding with another person or other people, so you're actually seeing beyond your own needs in this particular situation. So again, this is where you're in the midst of trying to juggle successfully your own desires as well as understand others' needs and that kind of thing, so that you can actually somehow meet in the middle in some way. And again, it's kind of inviting you to look at everything so that you're not exhausted, and you can find flexibility and meaning through the struggle, so to speak. There is again a choice of some sort that can be inflected with or inferred with the Two of Coins, Two of Cups. And I mean, there might be something here where you're needing to, make the decision to consider your possibilities and the things where you're inefficient with your time or energy and thought patterns, that kind of thing. When we get into the Page of Cups, this could be a young person that we're speaking to or speaking in regards to as well. And of course, I just wanted to also throw out that Two of Coins. Again, that Death card does speak to energy around you having to have gone through a deeper transformation. And you might still be going through a little bit of that right now, but that it does speak to a significant change or, due to an end in a particular thought. I feel like this is where you've accepted the inevitable, where you understand more about humanity and its frailties, and things are a lot more exposed. And so because it's exposed to you, you can make better decisions. And instead of judging it, you now understand that there is periods of having to give somebody else time to release and accept and go through their periods of growth and learning as well. So again, it's just a time of change, and you're still kind of grasping that as well and trying to make some sense of all of those things, and you're not resisting it so much now. As I said, you're not fixed in a mindset about how things should be. The Page of Cups, again, this is where you're starting to, some kind of new entryway here. There's, again, could be dealing with a younger person here as well, child or something along that line. But the Page of Cups does still speak to a new beginning of sorts, emotionally, in fact. And so even someone could be coming forward in a particular situation where they're awakening, or you're awakening, or you're both awakening to understand emotionally, even though it's still kind of a naive energy and you're both maybe still a little bit more immature in the way that you're thinking, or one person is, whether it's you or them, or whoever the significant connection is, there is still a sense of you're trying to awaken to some kind of new beginning, or trying to do your best to understand their ideas, their truth, and it's kind of a glimpse into that emotional realm. So again, it's sort of a childlike curiosity and trying to figure out the message, trying to figure out the person, trying to find a little bit of joy now and develop into this new sense of wonder and imagination. And certainly can also speak to some artistic or creative qualities. But I almost see with the Knight of Swords there being action or something in around wordplay, or something with strategy, or something that's moving forward in a certain way that's dealing with communication. So there is some kind of information that is coming through for you, and this is based on some kind of research that you may have done, or some kind of emotional processing, which you are now able to implement deeper wisdom and kind of move in a very integral way. So you're feeling a lot more self-esteem to move forward in a certain way that is more strategic. And I would even say that this is still very balanced energy as well, because you are using wisdom and perspective in moving forward. So it's just that energy, as I say, where there's a certain authority in going forward with the Knight of Swords. And again, they're just fleshing out the general energy, and we'll go through it and do a little synopsis as well. But Seven of Coins, this is still very grounded energy. It's in the real world. Seven of Coins is kind of sitting back, reflecting, figuring out your finances and what you can do to seed that into a level of maturity. So that goes for, or reflects, or has some kind of meaning in terms of your time, money, effort, all of that. And it's how do you sort of bring something to full growth. For some of you, you're in the place now where you are, starting some new things, but it's still very beginning energy here that I see in terms of finances. But you just have to be patient, because things will ripen as we go along here, depending on how much time and energy you're able or willing to put into the effort, so that the reward is significant. And it'll be based again on your energy, because spirit is just giving you ideas or giving you some kind of insight and helping you to see a broader picture. It's up to you to take the action to manifest it in the physical world. The Eight of Wands does speak to, this is going to seed a little bit faster and mature a little bit faster. The idea, the thing that you're trying to make happen, is going to happen a little bit faster than what you had anticipated. So be prepared, because there is going to be some clarity, and there's definitely some possibly even a new job opportunity up ahead here that's going to be coming in pretty quick, and you're going to have to get into this mode of take charge and sort of present yourself in a way that is, consistent with that take charge energy. So, Eight of Wands is a rapid force. It is definitely swift development and conclusions and things coming in, like I said. So you're closer to something that is going to show that you have been very competent with your strategy and your insights, and it does mean that you're going to have some kind of real potential coming through here with that Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is also very creative ideas that could be coming through, but it is also energy around, again, new job of some sort that could be coming through that's very creative, or something that uses a lot of your energy, practical effort, that kind of thing. I don't, maybe not practical effort is quite the word I'm looking for, but it definitely speaks to using a lot of your physical effort, physicality. And it also means that there could be a new passionate energy that's coming in for some of you, that is going to be providing a new start with a relationship of sorts, because there is a lot of relationship cards that came out here. And of course I did pull a few others, and I'll pull those forward. I just ran out of room, but it does still speak to very strong beginnings in a more, seeing your life in a new way that's more passionate, and you're more involved, and there's more discovery, and kind of bold steps forward with an Ace of Wands, especially with the Knight of Swords. Something is kind of taking off. So there may be some kind of immature, in terms of a connection, somebody's kind of, saying, I don't know how to put it, hey, was thinking about you, or something like that with the Page of Cups. And then there's some kind of, it expedites things. So it starts the seed of a new or not new relationship, but seeds in a relationship, I feel, that is existing here. And then, of course, there's sort of a burst of energy, or a burst of passion, or a burst of some kind of bold step that kind of moves you into the Ace of Wands, which is taking the plan and, implementing a plan and feeling much more in control of yourself and in control of your world. Certainly the Emperor is also, in terms of career as well, like I said, this is still energy of very structured control. So I feel like your achievements are fairly grand when they get to the Emperor. So I feel like that structure and that self-awareness is coming to you from you creating more structure out of chaos in your world. And this is going to allow you to become a more confident leader going forward. So it's really that coordination of control, self-awareness, and then executing in a skillful way. So we'll get right into the other cards that came out. Okay, so we've got, there is a lot of anxiety. There is something here with the Nine of Swords that you are trying to work through. But something about the start of this relationship again, possibly, or for some, maybe it is a new relationship with that Ace of Wands. But either way, there is some energy around a new start of a relationship or a revitalized one. Either way, this energy is, I feel like it's one that's already existing, because it feels like there's a lot of history here with the Two of Cups. It's very soulful. It's very connection. It's very deep. It's it's something that really moves you in a very, significant way, especially when I see the Nine of Swords here. I feel like you have very cut off energy. You have a lot of alarms kind of going off here about opening up to something new. again, that lover's energy still speaks to, you know, having moments where you're recognizing yourself or a person or something more intuitively. And it does speak to kind of a cosmic twin, if you believe in that as well, reuniting in some way and restoring the balance, which makes you happy in the long run. Because there are some moments of love that are occurring in this read for the month of June. So there's something here again about a choice, whether it's, you know, you following your head or your heart. Again, that was with the cards previous. But it's also about finding joy in your heart and choosing love over, you know, because you're transformed in some way. You are still in a bit of a residual energy here, but I feel if you can rein that in and trust in yourself and maybe slow down the pace, that might help you to adjust to the situation. And if somebody's willing to actually wait, they will wait. If they're not, then the timing is not right for both of you to necessarily connect. So you do have fulfillment in this connection here. It doesn't have to be a lover's connection, can be just a significant relationship. You do actually have you know, trust in the situation to a certain level. And there is a sense of, with the Three of Coins, there could have been a situation that maybe, usually when I say Three of Cups, it's usually more involving another party, but Three of Coins is like it's upgrading the situation or this, you know, the love situation in some way. So it's almost like you're at a place where, you know, things were a little out of balance, or you were struggling to find balance earlier in the month. But then by the end of the month, and again, some of you, this might resonate a little further out, there is some sense that the dream is developing, the connection is developing. You are finding your place through in a business situation where you're becoming a lot more masterful. It does speak to being a lot more refined in, again, a connection or in a work situation. But it is, you know, preparation meeting opportunity as well over here. And it's having the skill set mentally, you know, to kind of deal with something, and certainly willing to learn to upscale this situation. So the Three of Pentacles is a coming together of all of the elements that are needed and the resources that create some balance, so that there is more inspiration in a connection, more loving connection. It's you're doing what it takes to learn about a relationship, learn about the other person, or again, learn about a business connection, or learn about a significant connection to you, to be able to upscale something, because it's a cooperative venture with all of those cards there. You're not wasting resources. This is really about being quite organized and certainly not wanting to fail. But again, there's also that certain sense with the Fool of just willing to jump in and try something new and different. But again, it's causing you a lot of fear, because this is something that you really, you know, you're questioning yourself. Can I really do it? That kind of thing with the Four of Cups over here. But I feel overall, it's kind of, the Fool is limitless possibilities. You know, if you throw yourself into it, it's a fresh start, new adventure. Have some backup plans for the times when you're not feeling like you're willing to, you don't have the time or the energy to really put in your full self, but it is still stepping outside of your comfort zone for the sake of discovery. And you know, that's how we find fulfillment, is knowing the things that we don't want, meaning you have to go through the things you don't want and the hurt and the pain, so that you know what you do want. And it's really refining that process. You know, if you can't figure it out, you can say, I don't want this or this, but then what do you want in place of that? Can you get the one without the other? That kind of thing. Can you be accepting of a certain level of instability or reveal or vulnerability, and able to achieve a level of fulfillment? So this is where you're kind of waking up from, you might be being a little bit foolish in terms of, you know, being muddled thoughts, being overwhelmed, that kind of thing, with the Nine of Swords. But it's more of an imagined misery is how the card depicts it. So it's really about you being filled up with worry and feeling like the darkness is kind of closing in around you, being a little bit silly in terms of over crippling yourself with just irrationality, you know, just trying to, you're suffering through this new change. You're suffering through something that's worrying you about going forward without you know, any real security blanket, without any real specific certainty that something will work out. So you want to look for things that help you to ground in this month of June. So that would be, you know, walks and meditation and going to happy places in your headwater, you know, or, you know, places of water or mountains or whatever it is for you, but it's trying to deal with things in a factual basis rather than an irrational way, because your peace of mind will depend on it. So that's what I have for you for the month of June. I will also do a bit more of a money read here as well. For some of you, again, I do feel like the Ace of Wands could also be a new opportunity that's coming through for you that is going to allow you more of a structured with a corporation or possibly something along that line. Something is very structured so that you're able to move forward. Anyway, keep moving forward, Cancer. Never give up. You have some very strong possibilities in your relationships to build on. And again, everything boils down to flexibility. Flexibility, not certainty. And again, based on your transformation and all the lessons you've learned through your experience and the research that you've done, possibly in regards to relationships, as I said, is just being wise with yourself, with your time, and integrating the lessons. See you in the next read.